Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the RDA. This is Manchester United versus Aston Villa match preview, which is our first FA Cup game, I believe. So subscribe, smash like if you knew all that good stuff. We have Moloto back, It's been a while. Well, it feels like a while more when I had to do the solo shows. I've been missing you, brother. I've been missing you. So it's good to have you back. And, this game for me personally, I don't know how you feel about it. But the FA Cup, I would love to take seriously because I really want to win a trophy this season. So, with top four looking like it's done, with everything else looking like it's the end, at least this is a cup we could possibly win. And like I said, I'll do anything to win a trophy with Ronaldo being back at the team. So I'll do anything to win a trophy without Ronaldo even. But the fact that Ronaldo came back and won at least something with us would be kind of special. So for me, this is a big and important game for me. So what do you think? Do you still think for you the FA Cup is just and you still prefer the leagues and Champions League? Obviously we prefer them, but would you prioritize this?
Yeah. Like sometimes you just need to accept the reality. The league is gone, and in my fantasy world, we can win the Champions League, but then in reality, it's probably never gonna happen. So this is it. This is it, sadly, and we have to take it seriously. I heard Ralph say that there won't be massive changes. I can imagine that's partly because he's taking the FA Cup seriously, but also because he needs these players to play together in games for them to get better as a team. So yeah, I think we'll take it seriously.
I don't know if you've seen any of the comments from Ralph's press conference, but it was a lot hard hitting presser than what Ollie used to get. We used to want Ollie to get asked these questions, but no, English players, legend of the club, don't get asked that. But when Ralph is here, everything's going down. Even the MUTV things they're saying. We're a bit disappointed with how the players are, acting and, the way they're performing. I'm like, for the MUTV guys to be saying that, there's something going on there as well.
Yeah, that says a lot. That says a lot because they always protect the players. The fact that they're saying that, I think it's past just on the pitch. It kind of confirms that all these rumors about what's going on behind closed doors is actually true, which is extremely saddening.
Exactly. So, for me, like I said, I want us to take this seriously. And I think that we have to see a way better performance. Are we going to see a better performance? I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. But I expect to see a better performance because I think for the first time since Alf has been here, he's kind of had time now in the training pitch. I believe he said he had 4 days worth of training before this Aston Villa game. And we do play Aston Villa. I think the next Premier League game after Villa in the FA Cup is Aston Villa again. So I would say this is kind of like an audition almost to the Premier League game, which we have to still win because if we want top four, we still have to win those games. So it's going to be very interesting. And Mr. Malota, I know that a certain Philip Coutinho has now joined Aston Villa on loan, and this could be his debut against us. Should we worry any bit? Because personally, I don't think we should worry, but should we worry? Because Villa would probably give them a boost if anything.
He's a washed player.
He's scoring against us. 100% he's scoring against us in the cup.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like he suits the Premier League more than he probably suited anywhere else, But at the same time, that's me talking about Coutinho from a few years ago, He's going to come back and still be the disappointing player we've been seeing at Barcelona, So we'll see. I think the jury's out, I think it could be amazing for him. He restarts his career, he gets game time, or he's gonna die at Villa, figuratively speaking, So yeah, we'll see with Philip Coutinho, And in terms of turnaround, that's been my hope. That's my hope that he's getting a week now to work on the Kings, and we're gonna come out of this with good players, But then after hearing all the news this week, I'm starting to wonder if that matters. I'm starting to wonder that, because I watch people like Goldbridge, and maybe he can sensationalize things sometimes, and maybe just go overboard with Ralph's comments. Maybe it's your opinion, what you think of Goldbridge's comments, But he took it to heart, and Ralph saying that they're at least trying to.
That's what I mentioned that when I covered the press conference as well. When we were asked, like, do you believe the players are buying in your philosophy? And he was like, well. He didn't say yes or no, but he said, and they're at least trying, at the very least, they're listening. And I was like, so no, because I don't see it. I listen to you, Ralph. I know you want to play attacking football. I know you want to press. I know you want to counter press. And every day I watch United, there is nothing of the sort. So clearly, they are not following your instructions. Clearly, they're not buying into your philosophy. So for me, Ralph's got to pick the right players now. The players who are throwing him under the bus,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna call them out. I know, like people like Mark don't like calling people out. I'll call them out. The fucking Maguires, the Rashfords, the Scott McTominay, whoever, all those type of players. They are throwing him under the bus. They are throwing him under the bus. The Dean Henderson, who knows who else is there. You can't trust those players.
I think it's a disgrace, honestly. I honestly think it's a disgrace what these players are doing. Because we get that you're not getting game time. We get maybe you like the old manager's style over this new one. But, you're being paid thousands and thousands of euros and pounds every week. The least you can do is to be professional. Honestly, you don't throw your toys out the pram, when you're making money that some of us will never make in our lifetime, So, I find
a week as well.
Disgrace what these players are doing, So, yeah, I agree with you. I think if it means bringing academy players up, so be it, because at least they'll care for the badge.
I think so. I know this would be I would love to bring the academy players in a game like this, but clearly, there's an agenda against United because we get hard games in the FA Cup like Aston Villa, so we can't, and we have to take this cup seriously. So you really can't just bring the full youth, even though they probably will put in a shift. But then again, what's the difference between playing this team on my left, which I think you might pick, but the players who are going to throw you under the bus, than to play youth players who would give everything for you, So I guess I would argue that. So. Yeah, I think Ralph has got a big problem on his hands.
For him, basically cutting off Martial, I know I was using this example. You can see that he's not like Ole. Ole would be like, oh, you want to leave, or Pogba, you don't want to sign a new contract. It's fine, we'll worry about it in the summer, mate, let's just play football, Ralph doesn't do that rubbish, because he knows long term, it's self-destructive, So if you don't want to play, he's not going to play you, And I feel like he needs to take that philosophy even further, Maguire, if you don't want to be a role model for and get these players behind me being the captain, then screw you, you get dropped. De Gea can be the captain, things like that, And I think if it must be done, it must be done. It must be dropped now. Let's just finish wherever we finish, and then come the summer, let them get sold.
Yeah, I agree. So let's just see what happens. But in terms of what we expect to see from United, do you expect a difference to see? Do you expect a different performance from United against Villa in the FA Cup, or are you expecting the same old with United? Huh?
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that there's enough players in this team to just get that feeling of let's be professional. There's enough players who have their heads screwed on properly. I have faith Ronaldo is one of those. As much as Donny wants to leave, I have faith that he's also one of those. Bruno, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I sometimes feel like Bruno really liked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and he appreciated what Ole did for him. So
the team was built around Bruno. So
yeah, I sometimes wonder where his commitments are. And I kind of felt like Goldbridge was also hinting to that, even though they don't want to say Bruno's name because he likes Bruno. So it's interesting. I don't know about him, but I'm just hoping that at the end of the day they'll realize that what. This club's important. It means so much to these fans. So let's just put our differences aside and just play football, And I worry that not enough players in this team are going to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't trust him. You can tell them play for the fans. I don't want them to play for me. That's okay. Like if my life depended on Harry Maguire putting out the performance for the fans, I'm dead. And just put me in the ground already. I'm dead already. So it's fine. I'm not gonna expect that. I don't trust any of them unless you David De Gea. Or you Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't care whether you're Rashford, Martial, whether Pogba, I don't care. Sancho, don't care. Unless you're there or Ronaldo, I cannot trust you in this team. Not even fucking Varane. I can't even trust Varane anymore. It is what it is. I can't trust any of them. So let's see what happens. For me, if we don't see a better performance and we don't see somewhat of rough style in this game after having 4 days of training, there's problems. There's problems at this team. And I'm not expecting it to be perfect. But I'm expecting to see some small hints and indicators to show that that they've actually been listening, they've been trying this time. Something like a Palace. Exactly like Palace. With Palace, we're like, okay, this is the start. If we can get more of that, we're gonna be like the top teams. Ever since that 30 minutes in Palace, haven't seen it at all.
Yeah, I feel like there was a bounce. It only lasted for 30 minutes. Under Ole, it survived longer because Ole's tactics are chilled. We're just expressing ourselves. And it worked for a long time. But ultimately we saw what it led to. Not good football, no consistency. I feel like they played good for 30 minutes. They went to the training ground and they realized that Ralph's tactics are just intense. We have to drive home late because the training sessions are later. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna drive in the dark, And these players, they're so spoiled that they can't handle it, And I feel like that's part of the problem at the moment.
It actually sounds like United is like a nursery school, like complaining about going home in the dark, and get paid thousands and thousands of pounds a week to do this. I cannot believe. If I speak about the place, I'll lose my head. If I speak about this club, I'll lose my head. So it is what it is. With regards to Villa, though, I'll be honest with you, put my hands up. As much as I don't like Steven Gerrard, as much as I despise him as a football player, as a manager, he is clearly competent. He is clearly competent. And I have no doubts in my mind, especially from what Villa players speak about Steven Gerrard, that Gerrard doesn't play like how you usually expect smaller teams to play. He's going to find a way to beat us. That's how he'll play. Whatever it takes to beat United, and especially because it's United, or you best believe he's going to try everything in his powers to beat us in this game and the next game, because we're playing them back to back. So, Ralph, don't let us down yet. Don't let us down yet, because I honestly think, don't sleep on Gerrard, don't sleep on Villa. They're a good
Where's
team.
the game?
The FA Cup game is at Old Trafford, yes.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter, because our fans our fans are useless in it, so they really.
I honestly think if we're not up for this, we're gonna lose, because I haven't watched much of them. But what I do know is that they do find a good balance, as you say. They're not all out attacking where they leak the goals, and they don't play defensive football. But they play good on the ball football, a little bit like Wolves, but probably even better finishes than Wolves. So. It's gonna be interesting, honestly, and I think it's down to the players. It's down to the players, as Ralph says. As he keeps saying, collectively and individually. If we don't work well collectively, it's a yikes. Because with the style, you need to press. You need to be one. You need to know what you're doing together. You need to know you're pressing at the same time. You're doing the same thing. If we don't do that, we're gonna get caught in the turnovers, as he keeps saying, and the Ings and them are gonna take advantage of that, and we're gonna cry, because if we're out of the FA Cup, what's the point then?
Yeah, this isn't
then
that.
what?
This isn't that proper that.
Then what? Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, I actually think this is going to be a ridiculously hard game. But I'll give you my score predictions later on in the show. Obviously, we both will. Moving on to the team. Now, Ralph is one who likes to play his second goalkeeper, in cup games or whatever it may be. I don't care. Don't care you like playing him. Play David De Gea. If Dino's one of those players you can't trust, screw him, sell him, get rid of him. Don't care. David De Gea all the way. He's the only one of the few players you can trust. So pick him. No complaints there, Maroto. I don't even want Dino to get a game. Usually I'd be like, give Dino a game like this. But if he's acting how we possibly think he's gonna acting, I don't care, and he can sit on the bench.
No, I think it's happening, and I think it's just a hunch. But I think Dino was promised big things by Ole.
Yeah, 100%.
I honestly think
100%. Yes.
I think he was promised big things.
The whole team was promised big things by Ole.
Yeah. Ole's gone now, and you don't have a bit of a guarantee that you're going to be number one day. So, yeah, and he's a bit of an arrogant bloke, to be honest. He's acting out now.
Yeah, he is.
He's acting out now. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think play him, because he might think, let me play him, let me get him on my side. I just get this idea that that's not going to work, So, just play the goalkeeper you even name dropped and think is good, shows good leadership qualities,
Yeah, but I think pick there, no doubt.
Yeah.
Aaron Bissaka, I love the guy, but Delo has been so much better, so I picked Delo. I think Delo is a player I think Ralph kind of can trust more than Aaron Bissaka, but Wan Bissaka is an Oli player, Oli loved him. Oli never ever dropped Aaron Bissaka. Now, because Delo came in the scene, who knows how Aaron feels about Ralph as well. So I think play Delo. Delo is clearly, he has good comments about Ralph, he says we have to back the manager, so I picked Delo. And then, blessing that Maguire is not available for this game. Well, there's a doubt for this game. I don't care if there's a doubt for the rest of our lives. I don't care. As long as he doesn't play at United, I'm happy. Victor, I think Victor is 100%. He's okay now. He's okay. So I think Victor will come in. I think Varane will come in. And that should be our centre-backs in general. That should be our centre-backs in general. And I think Tellers probably comes in just because we want to have attacking fullbacks, to be honest. And after Luke Shaw's comments also about the team, and Ralph said, I didn't like Luke Shaw's comments. I'd be like, well, it's Luke Shaw. Yeah. He said, So is that another player that is also throwing Ralph under the bus? And as much as we like Luke Shaw, again, an Ollie player, and now when Ralph came, he got dropped. Then he puts in a good performance, but then he still had comments like that. So I don't know. I could tell us.
It's clear these players think they have more power than they do, honestly. Because new managers come at teams all the time, and you put your heads down and like, all right, there's a new manager, there's going to be changes because he's not going to do the same things. But these players think, no, we're not going to stand for that, It is like this and we like it like this. And it doesn't work like that, So they need to relax, And I get this feeling that with Maguire, as long as he's interim, he's probably going to be hesitant to drop him. Because he doesn't have a long-term contract. He's the captain. Maybe he's a leadership figure within the group. I don't know how ruthless Ralph is, but I do kind of get the feeling that he probably wants this pairing, if not Varane and Bailly.
Yeah. So I think that'll be. Well, I hope that to be the backline. Actually, I would like the backline to be that. And then you get to the late part.
I think as much as I don't think Tellez has been amazing, but I do think he probably sees potential in Tellez and probably doesn't want to play these fullbacks.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I think with Luke Shaw, I love him, and I honestly think he's still better than Tellez. I don't care what. Based on what I've seen in a United shirt, Luke Shaw is better than Tellez, and I'll argue that with any Tellez fan or any Tellez stan. I don't care what Tellez has done in foreign leagues and foreign teams. What I've seen in United shirt, Luke Shaw has been miles clear. I can't lie to you, but if I tell you what, as good as Luke Shaw is, if you come out with comments and you don't trust the manager, pop on the fucking bench. I don't care.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. So for me, Tellez, and then the midfield, I don't think he's gonna change it. And this is where it's on Ralph now. This is where it's 100% on Ralph, because if you pick this midfield pivot, let's just talk about the pivot specifically. We're losing this game. I cannot tell you we're ever gonna win a game when we play McFred in midfield, because we don't ever win the midfield. And our team clearly don't know how to play this formation, or if they don't, even if they do, they're clearly just not fighting for you, or not trying for you enough, right, Ralph. So Fred and Scott McTominay would not play them. Donny should 100% play this game. I'm saying every week he should be playing in a game like this, and should be playing games over Scott and over Fred, but he won't. So I got no hope.
Yeah, I get two things. I feel like we hear about how Donny's not covering ground in training, and that's the problem,
Yeah.
But where was this under Ole? I feel like it's a story that's been patched up because Ralph wants players that run, so it makes sense to just put that on Donny van de Beek, So I don't know about that story, And in the presser he talked about, yes, they asked him, do you want a midfielder? He's like, basically said, yeah, but, we have to work with the players we have, So that's the sucky thing at the moment. Who else? Because as much as maybe technically Matic is good, but he's washed, to be honest, he can't do 90 minutes. He's just not the player he used to be, So as saddening as it is, maybe this is the best we've got, and that just screams everything, As we all know that at a big team, like, it's the midfield that just puts everything together.
I won't even lie to you. I'm dropping them both. I'm playing Donny and I'm putting Bruno deeper. I don't care.
Yeah, I might as well, maybe.
Because Bruno, when he plays deeper, Bruno's a midfielder, guys. He's not just a cam. I know he's an insane cam. But Bruno, when he drops deep, he can fucking link up play. We can actually get our ball to the forwards. And we have so many attacking players that then even if Bruno does drop deep and Donny plays with him deep, then we can have Sancho and even maybe Rashford on the wing then. Or even Mason up top. We have so many attacking players, we can do it. We can afford to not have Bruno so much up in the field. We can. And Bruno, clearly, you can trust him. I would trust Bruno. Why wouldn't you?
What I think is going to happen, and maybe I'm living in a fantasy world, but I think there's going to be a lot of games where he'll probably just not play with an out-and-out CDM and probably play with Scott and Pogba. I can see that happening. That in front of them two, Bruno and Sancho, and we just go.
No, yeah, that's what I would also prefer,
Yeah. And then maybe in games where we need to be a bit more defensive, he'll drop one of Pogba and Scott and play Matic.
No, you don't drop Pogba. No, you don't drop Pogba. I refuse. No, you don't drop Pogba. If anyone who needs to be actually playing up the field is Paul Pogba. I don't care. Paul Pogba. I've seen it. I've seen the light boys. After Bruno's hero ball, it's also pissing me off. Give me Pogba. Pogba can actually proper hero ball. So I've had enough. My head's hot. My head's hot. I'm tired. I just want technical, gifted footballers in my team, because we got a bunch of twats in our team.
if we had another manager who didn't, let's just say in a world where the Donny rumors are true, that he can't maybe cover ground and he's not that type of player, you know.
But
Maybe
I would say it's a lie, because every time we've seen Donny play, what I've seen on evidence, you're lying to my face, because what I've seen is Donny being better than Scott and Fred any day of the week. So
yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
exactly. Even Scott, when he has his damn Leeds games, I'd still pick Donny. You know. So,
Maybe Ralph probably just needs to sacrifice a little his style, you know, just to accommodate how good Pogba and Scott and Donny are on the ball, you know. Ultimately, I do think he'll play Pogba, but then with Donny,
yeah, that's the thing. You know, when Ralph says, "I want to control the game and I want to keep possession of the ball," why would you play Fred and Scott McTominay then? Why would you play them? If you play Donny, Pogba's, Bruno's, Sancho's, you know how much you'll hold the ball. It's unreal.
You know what I think of this? Look at maybe Liverpool's midfield. Maybe let's say Ronaldo once upon a time. Maybe he is decent because as much as he's very intense, he's not bad on the ball. You know, Henderson. A lot of people think Henderson's overrated. You know, and they've got Fabinho. So maybe not the best example. Yeah, maybe they're not the best example because at the moment they do have decent players. You know, but I kind of feel like if you're playing an intense press, an intense counter press as a team, it makes it so much better. You know, but if there's people who are lacking, it creates spaces, it creates holes in your system, you know. So I think it's that idea that screw technical players. If we work hard as a team, we can counter that and still be very good, you know. But the problem is these players aren't doing that, you know. So he's probably trying to enforce that, and it's just not clicking.
I think the thing is, you know, Fred and Scott are obviously not technical, and even for you wanting them in a system, they're so dumb and daft that they can't play in a system, so they actually do nothing, and we see that every week in a United shit. So I'd burn them. If I was a manager at United right now, I would love to be manager of United, just so I could give it to these guys. But anyways, I honestly think McFred will be back, and like I said, this will be the downfall to Ralph, just like I was the downfall to Ollie. And when you pick McFred, Ralph, I am not gonna save you. I am not gonna say anything because that's on you. That is on you. So it is what it is. Moving forward, Sancho, Bruno, I fully expect Bruno to come in the team. You know, I think we showed how much we do miss Bruno, even if he's in horrible form. If we don't have Bruno in the team, God help the midfield. So we need Bruno, or at least a Pogba in the midfield, or even a Donny, but we had none of them. So Bruno comes back in, and Sancho for me is still better than freaking Rashford. And Rashford, even when he came on, I don't understand how you put in a negative 1 out of 10 performance when you came off the bench, you know, and have a point to prove. So for me, Rashford again, I don't know if I can trust him. I feel like he's also a bit sour. And, you know, even put in that story on his Instagram. If you just have to like read between the lines, like, dude, you know, back from where it started. He puts in a picture when he's like 10 years old in United shit, the youth academy. What are you trying to say to me, Rashford? What are you trying to? So just because you're from the youth, we need to love you and we should be demanding that we see you. No, ban that. If you suck on the football pitch, you're not good for enough for United. Go to Ipswich. I'm tired of all these plays. Go to Ipswich. I'd sell you to Ipswich, my friend. So Rashford, you can hold it. So I play Bruno and Sancho.
Yeah, no. I'm hoping to see Mason up front because I think there's potential there, you know, and I think we're wasting him in the midfield. I just don't think he's that player, you know.
Even though his distribution lately has been insane, so.
Okay, maybe I have been watching it close enough.
Nah. But it's insane, but let's not waste it.
Yeah. You know, I feel like Cavani's leaving, Tony's leaving. We need to start working on who's going to be our front two going forward, you know. Of course, we're going to add players in, you know. Of course, we're going to buy players, but I think we can't keep looking over Mason. We can't keep saying he's the future, but we buy a player. You know, we buy a player, yes, but then we still respect who Mason is, you know, and give him that opportunity to shine. So I do think he should play up front more. And midfield, Sancho, Bruno at the moment. I think they're the most creative, and I feel like Sancho has got some few good games on the route, you know. So I think we just need to try to get the consistency out, you know. And Bruno, you know, no matter what's happening with Bruno, it's Bruno, you know. He saved us so many times that we have to give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, because he's been everything for us over the last few years, you know. If not for him, yes, I'm not all didn't do great, but we probably wouldn't have even made top 4 and things like that, you know. So I respect Bruno, and I think he should play.
Yeah, I think Bruno.
Ronaldo.
Yeah. I think Ronaldo's Ronaldo. So but with Bruno, I think like, you know, he learned his lesson. You dropped him. He came on, and I don't think he was bad even when he came on. So I think Bruno's just that type of guy who's like, you know, when you give him a stern talking, he's not going to be on those guys who's going to, like, you know, go into his shell now. He's going to take it on board and is going to try and improve. That's how Bruno is. I can always give Bruno that. As much as he's awful, he will try everything for United. So that's what I can give Bruno.
Bruno seems like the perfect role player in my opinion, because he is kind of heavy metal, but then he's also very technically gifted, And if you want those quick direct passes, who else do you look to? So yeah, it is funny, and I don't know. Is there more to his dropping than just the bad form? I hope not.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think Bruno just needs to get out of his Ollie ways with the hero stuff, and actually play a bit more like a midfielder. Because at the moment, he's not playing. I don't know what's he doing. He's just literally kicking the ball out of play, is what Bruno is doing.
The hero stuff, but I think the last few it's just been excessive, So he needs to
stop it. Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to play himself back into good form too hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as much as I love Bruno, you ain't Pogba, mate. Only Pogba pulls off those passes all the time. It's just how it is. That's why we cannot replace him. We cannot replace Paul Pogba. But yeah, Bruno just has to turn it down.
Pogba. Going forward, do we then play Pogba next to Bruno? Is that better? Or do you play them behind him?
100% pick Pogba. I would love it. I'd love
and where does Sancho go?
I don't care. Pogba, Bruno is my.
I think for the balance of the team, maybe Pogba a bit deep.
Yeah, maybe Pogba deeper, as long as he doesn't have. That's why we need a CDM. But Pogba deeper. Yeah. I would love him there also, but I would also love him up front. I'd probably prefer Pogba to be high up and Bruno deeper, to be honest. But Bruno's long passing, I would also not like that, and I would like Pogba back then deeper, because I'm like, hey Bruno, I don't know what you're doing, so bring back Pogba. I really miss Pogba. I really fucking miss Paul Pogba. Yeah, I miss that man. But yeah, hopefully we'll have him back soon. Then, like I said, front to Ronaldo's Ronaldo, and Cavani. Like I said, all of a sudden, you start Cavani, what has he fucking done when we started him? Absolutely nothing. Zeros. Zero after zero after zero. And all you bunch of twats who like him, it's exactly why he's an impact player. That's exactly why he's an impact fucking fraud player. I would never start Cavani. He wants to leave. You put him on the bench. And if you do need him, you bring him up. And you play Mason up front, because I feel like Mason has been violated by Ralph. He has been putting in good performances, and he gets hooked, and he gets subbed, and it's disrespectful on behalf of Mason. So I'd play Mason with Cristiano Ronaldo. Those are two goal scorers, elite goal scorers up front.
The difference between Ralph and Solskjaer, I think Ralph tells us why he does things,
Yeah, he's honest. Ralph is honest.
Yeah. And Ralph did say that he plays Cavani and prefers Cavani because he's better with back to go. His hold up is better than anyone else at the club. That's his comments.
I'd laugh at him. So, to be honest, for hold up better than anyone else at the club, you're having a laugh. Only striker who can play with his back to go. You're having a laugh.
Okay, no. I think the person who's better can't play because of situation. Because we all know Tony is up there.
If I was Ralph, I'd be like, Tony, you're gonna be my number one striker. Cavani, get the fucking bit. Go. I'll ship you now to Uruguay. Unreal disrespect to Tony.
It's a shame because I do think Rob likes Tony. The fact that he was one of the first names he talked about when he did his first press conference.
But again,
think he wishes that he could play with him.
This is something I've said in the past. I said it's going to happen. The same thing with Pogba. It's going to happen to people like Martial. Then all of a sudden Bruno. And these players are just going to become fed up with the club. And they just, as much as they could love us, they don't want to keep believing in the fairy tale that they sold. So I don't blame Tony. So I don't blame Pogba. Because if I was them, I'd be like, nah, guys, you're selling me dreams. This club's going down. He's going down to the gutter. Yeah, so
they've been burned too many times, and as much as Ralph might say I'm gonna play, he feels like, well, Jose said that, Ole said that.
And when we lose games, who's always the guys to get blamed? Is it ever the Maguires? Is it ever Scott McTominay? Is it ever Marcus Rashford? Nope. It's Paul Pogba. It's Anthony Martial. Nobody else gets blamed. So I don't blame Martial and Paul Pogba for what they're doing at United. So. And I love those two players. One of my favorite players at United, both of them.
And I was about to say maybe they'll resolve it, but then I think from Ralph's comments, he said exactly, he made it very clear he wants to leave. It does sound like there's nowhere back,
Which is,
and that's so sad.
I still haven't come to terms with it, Tony for me will always be my boy. I can never picture him in any other shit in my life. But it's just one of those things. I would love Ralph to somehow make amends with Tony, but he has to have the balls. He just has to have the balls. When I would tell Tony in this situation, I'd be like, you want first team football? I really appreciate you. I'm gonna show you how much I appreciate you. You're gonna be starting every game for me. Cavani's gonna be bench. Rashford is not gonna play. You're gonna be my number one striker. Well, second striker. Because let's be respectful to Ronaldo.
I think Ralph understands what you need to do to fix a team. So he doesn't take nonsense. You pick a side. You either play for
Mm.
me or you don't, and that's the big difference between him and Ollie. And short term it might hurt, but I think long term we're gonna reap the rewards.
I think, well, I'd hope so. Long term, I think we're actually in the worst possible scenario ever, where we could, in a few years, be a seventh place club in the Premier League. I'm just saying, so I think it could get that bad.
Look, I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm jumping the gun. Okay, no. Okay, I'll say this comment when results can start getting better, because if I start saying like things like this about a manager who's not doing well, then the fan base will get on my back. So I'll hold it for when we start doing better.
Okay. But anyways, I would love to give you the Google score prediction stuff, but they don't have it for an FA Cup game. I don't know why. Maybe because whatever
Just give my
algorithm's not there.
prediction because my phone is acting up and
No
I think it
problem.
might switch over.
Yeah, no problem.
So I think we'll win. I think we will see a better performance, a little bit, maybe not much, but because we've had a week to work, I think we'll see some sort of improvement. So I think we'll win because it's an important game when we have to win it, really. And I'm hoping that the fact that the FA Cup has become so important for us this season that these players will turn up for it, and with the week of training, like I think the biggest amount of training or the most amount of training we've done since Ralph has come in, So, the tricky one to predict. I don't think it'll be a walk in the park. It hasn't been so far. So, I'll go for 2-1 United.
2-1 United win. Look, you stole my score here. I wanted to go 2-1 also. Because I want to win this game. Don't have faith in him. Actually, not. I'll tell you now, if Maguire doesn't play, we might have a chance. We might just have a small chance, of us having a clean sheet. But I don't trust.
Smacking them.
No, a clean sheet. But I don't know how I feel about this. What happens if you draw? Do they go to penalties this game?
Jeez, does it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it does. No replays, right? Didn't they cancel the replays or something?
Just United.
So it takes some time and penalties.
Let's
Time and
see.
penalties.
As FA Cup round. As FA Cup rounds go to penalties. Go to penalties. Okay. Below are the fixtures and results of the FA Cup. All games will go straight to penalties if they level after 90 minutes. Wow. So there's no extra time.
Holy
well, I don't know. I just read the top thing that Google gave me. I don't know if it's actually the actual way. So the FA Cup draws. Extra time and penalties. The FA have confirmed that they've removed replays from both the third round and fourth round of the FA Cup. Extra time and penalties will use to be find a winner. Okay, so.
like that, I think, the FA Cup.
Hey,
I'm just gonna hope. Cup.
I'm just gonna hope we win this game. So I'm also gonna, I'm gonna copy you. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 2-1. Can I tell you what? I don't want penalties. 2-1 because we're at home, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll score with penalties.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Europa League final.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared for life now. Even though we scored all of them, but I'm still scared for life. So can't do penalties. My heart rate, especially this is even for the trophy. This is just get a fucking next round. So I just hope we win. That's all. That's all I want. I want a good win actually. Not even just a win. I want to win and perform very, very well.
I just want to drop this in before you finish. I feel like the media has a little bit been sensationalizing how bad Ralph's start has been because he's not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, And I kind of feel like as much as it's not being perfect from a performance point of view, from a points point of view, for a new manager, he's done okay. He has, to be honest. So I feel like to be positive, let's just give it a benefit of doubt and just hope that at the time.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, it was always I can always see Ralph's full ability when he's actually had time on the training pitch with his players, and now I think that he's had quite a lot of training sessions with them. I really expect to see a difference in performance. So, and if we don't, then I don't know. I really don't know. Just not even a full 90 minutes of Liverpool football. No, just give me 30 minutes against Palace, 40 minutes or something. Let's start showing light at the end of the tunnel.
We're sure we can do it against Palace, So I don't know what's wrong.
Exactly. You guys did it for 30 minutes at Palace. What happened after that? Where has it gone in those few games? I don't know. So
They
Like I
can
said.
handle it. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this is what Liverpool does." No, thank you. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
like this is what Liverpool
Not for
does in
us.
training. No, guys, no. We need to go back to Hollyways. This is too hard. This is too hard. We can't play lettuce every day. But yeah. Anyways, is there anything else you want to say, Mr. Malot?
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Because I don't want to. This team. Oh my gosh. You don't want to talk. You want to keep quiet because you talk, and then a Brazilian fan just have you. And like I can't have that stress in my life. So I'm just hoping that they can give us a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, I think so as well. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the show. Let's just all have a win. Hope you guys have been doing okay, even though it's been a bit of a meltdown at United. So subscribe if you're new, smash a like, and we'll see you all very soon. Hopefully with a winning result on Monday, and if not, I'll check you tomorrow as usual. But yeah, have a good rest of the day, and goodbye.